permit me to say, I begin to think that certain things we mistake for the will of God could be manifestations of oppression. I'll give you a personal experience example or testimony. Many years ago, there is a church in Malaysia, in the city of Kuala Lumpur, and this church, I've been there several times, so they really appreciate God's grace upon my life. They appreciate my ministry and my ministrations. So they were planning for camp meeting, and the way the pastor operates is he will ask them, he will mention all the pastors they know. Who do you want me to bring? And everybody wanted him to bring Pastor Young from Nigeria, and they agreed. And they sent me invitation. I made my application for visa to the embassy, because Malaysia, every time you go, you apply for new visa. Now God will help them. So I made my application to the embassy, and somehow they were just delaying things till like 3 days to the conference. Now I had bought my ticket, because even if it comes one day to, I should run. Wherever I meet. Only for the last 2 days to the conference, my agent called me and said, Pastor, the consular didn't sign the visa, and they are going on holiday. They are going on Salah holiday, and they are to resume on Tuesday. And the conference I was going for was starting on, was it Saturday or Sunday? Do you get the point? I hope I'm correct. So when he told me that, I said, okay, no problem. So I called the pastor and I said, I'm sorry, they didn't sign the visa. There's nothing I can do. The pastor just said, okay. But it was later he told me, he said, I was not happy that the church members who had paid for where they are camping, because it's an expensive place, so they pay, and the church subsidized. He said everybody came and started collecting their money when I told them I'm bringing an alternative preacher. So you spoiled our camp meeting. I said, it's not my fault. So when I told mommy said, beg, make I have my husband, even if it's for another 1 week. And we were very happy with our lives. I was trying to convince the pastor that is the will. If it's the will of God for me to come, they will give me visa. I mean, I've been to that country more than 12 times in 9 years. So me and mommy, we believed it was the will of God. That's why they didn't give me visa. So I went to mommy's room and we were talking. And while we were talking, we were sitting on her bed. While we were talking, I fell asleep. When I fell asleep, the Lord took me in the spirit and brought me to Malaysian embassy, to the office of the consular. And the man was sitting on his work desk, sitting on his work chair, and stamping and signing visas. And suddenly he brought out my passport. I saw my name, Henry Young. As he took the biro to sign, a snake came to his front, stood on his front, and sprayed saliva on him, and he became weak, and he dropped the biro, and I opened my eyes. When I opened my eyes, I got up. I told mommy, I said, babe, this Malaysia trip cancelled. It's not the will of God. This is the devil at work. See what I just saw. She said, what? So both of us stood up and we started warfare. We prayed for some time. I don't know how long. We made warfare. Whoever that snake is, whatever that snake is, we fought it. And when we were satisfied that this prayer had been answered, we stopped. Guess what? The following morning, that was not supposed to be a work day, my visa agent called me around 10 a.m. and said on a non-work day, the consular came to the office, signed some visas. My own was number 1, and said they should give people on a public holiday. So Immediately he told me that. I say, are you sure? He said, I'm sure. I said, snap it and send so that I'll be sure. So he snapped it and sent on WhatsApp. When I saw it, I called my friend. I said, man of God, they just signed my visa by 10 a.m. this morning. I'll be in Malaysia and I'll be in your church. He said, hallelujah. That was how I got there. And that meeting is one of the most explosive meetings I have ever experienced. Do you understand? So I'm telling you from experience that there are certain things we say is the will of God that is satanic oppression. The devil might not at that time be able to oppress me as a person, but he can oppress somebody who holds something important to me, and by extension the oppression got to me.